This is Jim Engster. Thank you for joining us for Talk Louisiana. Signature support from First Financial Tax and Accounting Services. 877-217-5757 is your Talk Louisiana number, and emails to talk@talklouisiana.org. We start with Dustin Granger. He's a candidate for treasurer. As we know, the election is now inside 6 months, October 14th. Dustin's an interesting man. He is a Democrat, and as we know, there are many candidates running for office this year for statewide office, but most of them are Republicans, and there are extremely few white Democrats left in the game. And Dustin is a guy who grew up in the Lake Charles area, went to Sulphur High School, graduate of LSU. Both of his parents Republicans, but he is Democrat with a capital D. Why?
Yeah, growing up in Sulphur in the 90s, politics wasn't a big thing. A lot of things changed throughout my life, starting with 9/11 and the financial crisis. But, raised listening, my dad had Rush Limbaugh on all the time. Of course, I didn't know a whole lot about politics back then, but thought I was a Republican until my senior year in high school. I remember I was debating with some friends who were taking the Democratic side, and I thought I was a Republican, and I just noticed I was debating, and I just didn't believe some of the things I was saying. So that started my journey right there. And a lot of things changed in my life with 9/11, and the financial crisis especially helped solidify my my political views.
Well, you are campaigning on what some would say is a revolutionary plan for the state treasurer's office, which may not be the most sexy position in state government. What are some of the things you want to do?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize what the treasurer does, but it's very important when it comes to our future, with energy, with climate, with investing in people. One of the biggest problems I have, and one of the reasons I'm running, is I'm just sick and tired of watching misguided politicians lead our economy into further ruin, and it drives me crazy. I've been a financial planner, financial advisor for 20 years, and a lot of what I'm seeing is our state doubling down on trickle-down economics. We're moving backwards, and it seems to be we're going to be moving backwards again, and we have a lot of problems. We have insurance crisis, we have hurricanes, climate change is getting worse, the energy markets are changing. There's a lot to do.
Dustin Granger, candidate for state treasurer. Others in the race include former Congressman John Fleming, State Representative Scott McKnight. John Schroeder, the incumbent, is running for governor of Louisiana. 877-217-5757 if you'd like to get in. We've got a few emails, and if you'd like to send one to talk@talklouisiana.org, you're certainly invited to do so. Dustin Granger says we've been making bad investments by putting all of our eggs in one basket at the expense of the environment, our economy, and the opportunity for future generations to thrive here at home. Why is this the case?
Well, I understand how we are in our economy. We've traditionally been an oil and gas state for quite a while, and it's helped a lot of people in this state. It's helped our revenue for many generations. Many of our family members and parents grew up in the industry, but things are starting to change, and I don't feel like we're adapting to the changing times. We've been losing energy jobs for quite some time, for decades now. Our economy doesn't rely on the revenue as much, but here we are still making decisions to try to go out of their way to protect one industry at the expense of diversifying our economy. And it's driving us deeper into to economic problems.
877-217-5757, and we'll go to the phones in just a moment. You say trickle-down economics is a sham, and when elected treasurer, I always invest in people first. How has trickle-down economics affected state government in Louisiana in your estimation?
Yeah, it is a sham. It's a lot of people don't realize that our state is based on trickle-down economics. I mean, it's been proven time and time again to be wrong. Just giving people in big corporations, big benefits at the top, and supposedly it's prosperity will rain down on us all, and that's just never been the case. We've been knowing that for the last 100 years. The key is investing in people. We've proven that time and time again throughout history, going back to Theodore Roosevelt and FDR. Many times, the civil rights movement, women's liberation movement, when you invest in people, the economy grows and blossoms from the bottom up.
Phil in Jefferson Terrace. Phil, you're on Talk Louisiana. Good morning.
Well, yeah, good morning, sir. And I am, you're singing to my hymns. Those are really great ideas and a direction we need to look at going in. What would you do about Social Security? Would the state workers be able to qualify for that? I know there's a lot of ways that we could be improving things for our workers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. I'm definitely for our state workers being able to access Social Security. That's on the federal level. Our congressmen, I wish, would do more to fix that with the, I think it's the windfall elimination provision of Social Security that doesn't allow many of our state workers to access it. So yeah, I'm definitely for that. We have a lot of problems in the state, and a lot of it stems from poverty and deep poverty in the state. And programs like Social Security are very important for people to live on.
Well, we've had some people of high profile who've held this position of treasurer. I remember back in the day, Paul Hardy ran for governor as state treasurer, and of course John Kennedy ran for U.S. Senate and won, and now John Schroeder is running for governor of Louisiana. Is this a springboard for you?
Don't forget Mary Landrieu, too.
Yeah, and Mary ran, you're exactly right. In 1987, she was elected, and then 8 years later ran for governor, lost a close race, and then a year later was elected to the U.S. Senate. You are correct. Thanks for mentioning Senator Landrieu. But what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. You get into politics to make change. And, I have two little girls now. They're age 7 and 4, and I've been wanting to get into politics for many years, for about 15 years. And once I started having children, I realized that, instead of waiting to retirement like a lot of politicians, I have the energy now. I'm 42, and I have the energy and the know-how, and I want to get going. So wherever, if I win this seat and I can have a good effect on the state, then yeah, I'll be open to anything else.
Patricia in Magnolia Woods, you're on with Dustin Granger. Hello, Patricia.
Hi, good morning. I think it's a good idea to diversify our economy, but I was just wondering if you could tell me what exactly the state treasurer can do to accomplish that.
Good question.
Yeah, great question. The state treasurer basically does three things. I like to put them in three categories. They invest, they protect, and they advise. So we invest the state assets. We oversee all the major state pensions and the other billions of dollars that we have to make sure that our money grows. And so that's one. Two is protect. It's up to the state treasurer. They're the chair of the bond commission, which the bond commission, I believe, has 15 members. So it's just one vote, a tie-breaking vote, but they set the agenda. And our bond commission, all the major projects throughout the state, all the municipalities around the state, if they need to raise money, it goes through the bond commission. And we can invest in things that can bring value to our state, long-term capital projects that can bring long-term sustainable jobs through the bond commission. And the third category, I think, is overlooked a lot. Advise. We're constitutionally required to tell the truth about our economy. We're the economic fiduciary and advisor to the state. We report to the legislature and the governor every year. And I don't think many past treasurers have been honest about our situation. And that's what I intend to do. And I intend to call out bad economic policy and promote good economic policy.
Another Patricia in St. Francisville. Good morning. You're on with Dustin Granger.
Dustin.
Turn your radio down. Please turn your radio down. All right. Patricia, are you there? Go ahead and turn your radio down, and we'll get your question for Dustin Granger. Patricia's
Dustin.
Hey, yes. Patricia.
What is your question?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. I'm sorry we can't wait forever, but thanks for calling, Patricia. But as far as a Democrat in a red sea in Louisiana, you're swimming uphill. I think you know that, but why do you feel you have a shot?
Yeah, because I'm going to be honest about our situation here in Louisiana. A lot of politicians like to talk about how things are bad, but doubling down on the past bad moves is what they're running on. A lot of our crises have to do with climate change, changing energy markets, and insurance. But nobody's talking about the actual solutions to fix these things. They want to ignore them. They want to remain in denial, and no longer.
We'll spend a few more minutes with Dustin Granger, then hear from Darius Lannis of the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board.
I'm Debbie Elliott. This is 89.3 WRKF. You may be listening on your radio. Did you know you can listen on your smart speaker? Just ask it to play WRKF.
Support for Talk Louisiana is provided by our members and by Southern Strategy Group, professional advice on the politics of business and the business of politics from 5 partners with over 100 years combined experience navigating governmental affairs on behalf of clients. Learn more at the all-new ssgla.com. And by Blumberg & Associates, providing commercial and personal insurance in Baton Rouge for 30 years. Blumberg means business. Learn more about Blumberg & Associates at 225-767-1442.
Plato said, "The beginning is the most important part of the work." Kick off WRKF's 2023 Spring Member Fest with an early donation to WRKF that inspires others to contribute just like you at WRKF.org.
New emissions rules unveiled by the EPA recently can only be met if automakers are able to sell a lot more electric cars and trucks in the near future.
The timeline for this is incredibly fast in an industry as big and as slow as the auto industry.
Are consumers ready to buy more EVs? On All Things Considered from NPR News.
This afternoon on WRKF.
This is Jim Engster. Thank you for being with us for Talk Louisiana. We're wrapping it up with Dustin Granger, candidate for state treasurer. The election October 14th. He is a Democrat. Others in the race are Republicans Scott McKnight and John Fleming, and there may be a few others joining the field, but it is getting late in the game. I think we've got Patricia in St. Francisville with her radio potted down. Patricia, you're on with Dustin. Good morning.
Good morning. Dustin, I have a comment. I have not heard anything very specific about what you're going to do. I want to know what you're going to do different. Tell me 5 different...
All right. I don't know if we can get to 5, but what will you do differently than has been done by others and those who are also running what they're proposing?
Yeah, so first of all, I would lift some of the bans that our current treasurer has... Treasurer Schroeder has banned environmental investing strategies from our state treasurer, so that's a quick one to reverse right away. That doesn't help our state. We need to diversify in all types of industries, even ones that do good, clean energy. Lift the bank bans, too. Many on the Bond Commission have wanted to ban a lot of banks just for some of their views in their business practices of not loaning to certain industries, and that's costing Louisiana money. Promote long-term clean energy projects. That's the wave of the future. There's a energy revolution happening right now that we're getting left out on. And we need to make sure that we're the energy leader for the next 100 years, not just the past 100 years, because we can get left holding an empty bag. It's happening right now.
Well, good luck to you. Impressive young man, 42-year-old Dustin Granger. We had an impressive young man, 36-year-old Richard Nelson, running on this show, the man in the gubernatorial race. But we need a new generation of leaders, and we're featuring some of them, and we will endeavor to feature the other candidates in this race on this show as we move toward October. Thank you, my friend. Hopefully we'll have you back soon.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Jim.
From Lake Charles.
Yeah.
So thank you for making the trip, too.